I'm going to insert slides and show you what is going to be coming out in the exam. I was so shocked to the extent that for a moment I began to believe that if you work in a care home, you actually become dull. The numeracy test is very tricky, guys. Hello guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel, the channel where we keep things real. And today we are going to be getting real about the changes in CBT 2021. Today is a sunny day, so we decided to be outside and enjoy the warm weather because it's really warm here. This is going to be in two parts. This is part one, where I'm going to cover the changes which are coming in CBT, and there's going to be part two. I'm going to cover how you can prepare for CBT and pass in just one sitting.
Alright, they asking for the queen. I'm a bad bitch, she's a savage. Look back while I twerk. No comparison.
I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Acting stupid, what was happening? What was happening?
Disclaimer. Okay. I'm a self-proclaimed CBT guru. I have 10 years experience in the teaching field, so I actually use that experience to critically analyze CBT, and after the critical analysis, just like I used to set exam for students, I created my own module, created my own CBT questions, and used those very questions to mentor students for CBT. I can happily say that each and every person that I've actually mentored has passed. Okay. I've not had any failures. I still continue to mentor people for CBT, but not as much as I used to, because due to personal commitments and work commitments, the time is now limited. But I've noted that from the group where I'm still the CBT mentor, many people are panicking. They're panicking. They're saying, Popo, CBT is changing. I don't know whether I should take the exam now or I should wait for a later date. I'm confused. And people are really caught in between. They really don't know what to do. They don't know whether they should take the exam. They don't know whether they should wait. I'm here to tell you guys that relax. The new changes which have been implemented, they've actually made the exam very, very easy for you. So there's no need to panic, because they are literally spoon feeding you. Talk about what CBT is. CBT is a test which is designed to test your ability and knowledge to work safely as a nurse in the UK. We are going to look at the changes which have been implemented in the new CBT. So what I'm going to do is I'll insert a slide so that you get a clearer picture of what has been changed. So this is the CBT overview. CBT is changing because nursing is dynamic. The standards are ever changing, hence the need to be abreast with the current trends. So the current CBT is 120 questions over a 4-hour period. So the changes which are coming are CBT is now going to be split into two parts. There is part A, which is numeracy, and part B, which is clinical. But all exams are wrote on the same day. So part A, the numeracy, has got 15 questions, and these are calculations, by the way. And these questions are given 1 mark each, and you're supposed to answer these 15 questions over 30 minutes. So the answers are 1 number answers, with some requiring units. A calculator can be used if desired. And the part 2, which is the clinical part, now consists of 100 questions, which are 1 mark each, and it is written over 2 hours 30 minutes. The answers are 1 of 4 multiple choice questions. So all questions will cover a full range of standards and all levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is a classification system used to define and distinguish different levels of human cognition. For example, things like thinking, learning, and understanding. I'll get into the details about the Bloom's taxonomy and how it's applied to CBT in my next video. So now the clinical test questions are 90% generic and 10% field specific, compared to the current test where 50 questions relate to generic nursing competencies, then 50 questions the application of generic nursing competencies to the specific field, and 20 questions solely on the specific competencies. Well, as you can see, guys, now there are advantages. Advantage number one, the test is now split into two. And because it's now split into two, if you fail, you only receive the part that you failed. If you fail the numeracy test, you only receive the numeracy part. If you fail the theory part, you only receive the theory part. Another thing, you can now use a calculator in the exam. But what hasn't been specified is whether you will bring your own calculator or they'll provide you with calculators. I think probably providing you with calculators will be the best. Third advantage, you can now actually go to the Pearson view and practice the test. I have taken both the tests, and to be quite honest, they are quite easy. But the numeracy test is very tricky, guys. I took the test, fair enough, it was set for 30 minutes and I managed to finish it within 8 minutes. And I was submitting, I was so excited, telling myself, yes, I've nailed it. But out of the 15 questions that I wrote, I got 9 of them wrong. 9! I was so shocked. I was so shocked with the extent that for a moment, I began to believe that if you work in a care home, you actually become dull. But it was because I wasn't diligent when I was doing the test. Because you see now, unlike the first CBT, given A, B, C, D, to pick A, B, C, or D, with the numeracy test, you are now actually putting the answers into the computer. So I'll show you an example of one of the questions which I failed. Instead of putting 6.5 mils, I was putting 6.5 mls. Mils is not supposed to have S at the end, but I was putting MLS on all the questions. So all the questions where I was putting MLS, I failed all of them. The calculations, they were correct, but my measurements in the end are the ones which made me fail. When it comes to this new CBT, guys, you really have to be diligent when you're answering your questions. The advantage that you have is you will have an opportunity to actually practice the questions and practice for the exam before you go for the exam. Another advantage which is coming in with this new CBT is that they actually tell you what is coming in the exam. Like if you look at the old CBT exam, it doesn't really specify what is really coming in the exam. So I'm going to insert slides and show you what is going to be coming out in the exam. You see, guys, they've made life easy for you. They actually tell you which questions are going to be in the exam. For example, you know that definitely there are going to be 4 oral medication questions. Even when you are studying, you are actually studying with direction. You are not going to be busy reading something which will not even come out in the exam. So life has become very simple. Even if we look at the clinical part of the exam,
Each subheading, they actually tell you how many questions are coming in each subheading. And as you can see at the top there, all the questions are classified under the Bloom's taxonomy, which I said I'll explain further in my next YouTube video. Yes, CBT is changing, but it is really changing for the best.
So you see guys, life has really been simplified for you. So there's really no need to cry about the new CBT changes. Actually, if it were by me, I would be excited about the new CBT changes, and I would even want to wait so that I actually write the new CBT, because everything is just so simple and straightforward, literally being spoon-fed. So don't panic, it's actually easier than the current one. Thank you so much for watching. This is part 1 of the CBT test. I'm going to get into part 2. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you are alerted when I upload my next video. Thank you so much for watching guys. I'll see you in my next video.